Okay, so hey guys, it's Kim, back with another video, and I decided to make this video on a whim. I just filmed two videos, and I feel like doing another one, since I have nothing else better to do, and also I just feel like talking right now. I want to talk about relationships. I want to talk about writing a relationship manifesto for yourself. So this is actually something that I did for myself for this year, just now. Earlier today I was journaling. Today I kind of have a freer day, so I just sort of scheduled a lot of the journaling that I've been putting off that I need to do, and I just did everything today. And one of the things I needed to write about was my relationship manifesto. So what is a relationship manifesto? Basically, it's just a manifesto for how you want your relationship to be and how you want to participate in your relationships. I've read a lot of spiritual texts and spiritual books, and I'm pretty sure most of us will be familiar with ideas such as like setting your intentions, laws of attraction, being the space of love and forgiveness and light, and being the best version of yourself in any relationship and learning the lessons from it. And even if you had a really bad relationship, see those people who had come into your life, see them as teachers. They were there to teach you a lesson, stuff like that. So yada yada yada. So I believe in all those things, by the way. I kind of just wanted to outline those things before I tackle this next topic. So I think I feel like this is not like the most original activity. A lot of books I've read, they talk about like you need to write down what you want your relationships to look like. For example, you want to write down, for example, if you're female and you're straight, and you want to write down a list of qualities that you want in a guy and to attract that type of person into your life. And you could do the same thing if you're a man, or if you identify as like any other gender. So there's the idea of like writing down what you want in a relationship. So I was thinking about that, like, you know I went through two sort of significant romantic relationships in my life, and I kind of did that. I wrote down what kind of guy I would like to date. I think even before I learned the lessons that I had to learn, I knew the type of person that I wanted to date. I want someone who I could connect spiritually, someone who has some kind of creative outlet. It doesn't have to be writing. So writing is kind of my thing, but I would, and someone who appreciates creativity and creatively expressing themselves in an authentic way, blah blah blah. So I had my list. I did have a list. But the thing was, I don't know, it's just the idea. I appreciate the idea, but it just never kind of worked for me. So, like obviously this could involve that internally there might be self-sabotaging beliefs that I had, or negative intentions that I was putting forth that I wasn't aware of. So that could be true. So I feel like a part of this is doing shadow work and getting to know yourself better, understand your flaws and your strengths, so you can better navigate your next relationship and learn all the things that you need to learn in the previous failed relationships, or just, your previous journeys, so you can take everything and then just become a better version of yourself in the next relationship. I don't know, I just feel like I just feel like there was something missing. I just never really understood it. Or maybe I'm just having these ideas now because now I really understand that the type of relationship that you want is really what you choose to do as an individual. When you are faced with relationship opportunities, shall I say, or when you're faced with somebody who could potentially be in a relationship, or someone who was already in, maybe you're already in a relationship with, it doesn't matter if it's like romantic partner, or it could be just friends. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to write a relationship manifesto, because I feel like manifestos is more about, it's about setting intentions, but it's less about imagining what that relationship is gonna look like. It's more about how you want to shape that relationship, or how you want to participate in the relationship. So it's more about like focusing on yourself, and it's more about your own choices, your own empowerment, how you're going to act. It doesn't matter who you're faced with, it doesn't matter if it's a positive dynamic or negative dynamic. What matters is what you choose to do and how you hold truth to yourself. So I thought I would share maybe a few of the things I wrote down for myself. Everybody could be different. For me, I struggle a lot with personal boundaries and giving too much and being too forgiving. So that's probably the type of thing you can expect from my relationship manifesto. So everybody could be different, but I thought I would share mine. So maybe you guys will resonate with my ideas and you can go write your own, or you can just let me know if I missed anything. I guess. Yeah. I mean, they're a personal manifesto, but always good to hear feedback and what people think and just get inspiration. That's what I mean. Okay, so what I wrote down was, I feel like my top 3 are my strongest ones. Like, they're the really, like, those are the things that I really want to uphold in my relationship. Okay, so here's a few. I stand and root firmly in honesty, truth, and emotional authenticity, and will always seek to express them in healthy ways that is communicative and serve the benefit and mutual improvement of the relationship. So this is something I struggle with because sometimes I will be aware of my feelings, but I would find excuses for them, especially when they're bad ones. I will find excuses for them. I will forgive the other person for doing something bad or saying something nasty to me. And for me personally, that I feel like this is coming down to being honest with yourself and really just standing naked in the clarity and in the honesty. Because if you recognize that your feelings cannot be bypassed, if you recognize that some of the, especially the negative feelings, if they cannot be bypassed, you have to honor them too. As much as you want to have positive emotions like love and care, like you look for these things in the other person, but sometimes you can't find it, so you sort of find excuses for yourself and you continue to look for those good things and you sort of just bypass the negative ones. So I feel like this really comes down to emotional honesty. I feel like you just need to be honest with yourself. You need to recognize that you have to see things as they are. You need to just stand naked in truth and make a decision from there. So that's my first one. My second one is because I have issues with personal boundaries. This is what I wrote down. I spare no space, no heart, and no energy for those who behave toxically and negatively towards me. I distance myself from such bullshit behavior without reserve and for self-protection. So notice how I'm using a lot of strong verbs. So this is actually one of the tips for strong writing is you use power verbs and you don't use passive voice, you use active voice. So when you use active voice, even in like spiritual writing, it gives you more agency, it gives you more like the sense of authority and empowerment. So that's why I'm using lots of verbs. So just a tip from an English tutor. So that's my second one. My third one is about speaking up and communicating, since sometimes I have trouble with that too, since I bypass emotions and so therefore I stay silent, blah blah blah. The rest is history. So I speak up in a mature manner and for the purpose of communication against words and actions that bring me discomfort, that violates my right for respect, and that seeks to sort of elevate themselves, like the people who are talking to me, on the expense of me. So if that makes sense. And my fourth one is, sometimes I feel like, I'm pretty sure everybody who's pursuing like a spiritual path might relate to this, especially when you're actively cultivating wisdom and self-love and all that kind of thing. You might relate to this. Because sometimes I feel like, because I have so much insight about myself, I do a lot of shadow work, I journal regularly, I do a lot of self-work, basically. I'm sure a lot of you are doing the same thing. So sometimes I find it difficult to be vulnerable because I feel like when my friends are trying to relate to me, or when they're trying to care for me or express their care for me, or when they try to give me advice, I will feel like, I knew that. I didn't need you to tell me that. So sometimes I get a little bit defensive and I know it's not healthy. So this is what I wrote down. I allow myself to be vulnerable and receive the love, care, and wisdom from my loved ones. I accept their affections with appreciation and humility. So sometimes I feel like I just need to step back and just allow and just make space for love, because sometimes you get so strung up with, oh, I have to be strong, I have to be protective of myself, I need to know this, I need to be wise, I need to be spiritual. Sometimes you forget, you can just you want to, it's like, as a spiritual person, especially if you have a healer archetype in you, you want to hold space for somebody. You want to be the one who brings healing. And sometimes I feel like maybe you will forget that you, as a human being and as a human person, are in need of healing as well. So it's important to hold space for another person, but I think it's equally important, perhaps even more important, for you to make space for, wait, does that make sense? Yeah, make space for, in your heart, for the love that other people give you. So instead of just holding it externally, you also need to like get some input, right? Instead of just pure output. It's not healthy. And I think I'll just share one more. This is my last one. It's kind of a repeat, but I thought I would just write it just in case, because this is something I struggle with a lot. So this is my number 8. I choose to walk away from any relationship that does not serve my highest good and my well-being. Yeah, that's my relationship manifesto. So, the reason why I want to share it is because I feel like everybody should have a relationship manifesto. Everybody should, you don't have to write it down, but I think writing it down definitely helps. Everybody should have a relationship manifesto, and it should always, always, always be firmly rooted in your own sense of agency, in your own sense of empowerment. That's why you write in first person. You don't address the other person at all, because really it doesn't really matter. You can't control who comes into your life. What you can control, what you have control over, is the choices you make about those people. And sometimes you might meet people who don't really have your best interest in their heart, and sometimes they are not aware of the consequences of their own actions and behaviors, and sometimes that can be very hurtful, and sometimes it just drains the life out of you. So that would be like a negative situation. But it's really up to you. It's about what you choose. You can choose to walk away from a relationship. You can choose to put distances between you and somebody who's kind of draining the life out of you. You can also choose to bring people in, or allow them to come in and receive their love and care, and also give love and give care. And it's really about your choice. It's about what you do in a relationship. It doesn't really matter what the other person is like. It doesn't really matter what that person does. The most important thing is really our decisions, our choices, what we do in the relationship, how we show up for ourselves, how we sort of uphold our values, how we affirm our boundaries, how we give permission to people who might participate in a relationship with us. So manifesto is I just feel like it's such a powerful thing, and it's such a great thing that I did just now, earlier today, because I feel like writing those things down allow me to have like a guideline, or like some kind of groundwork for me to, in the future, if I have some kind of relationship difficulties, or if I'm really evaluating a person, this is what I come back to. It's really about what I do, not what the other person does. So yeah, you should totally go write out your relationship manifesto. So just to kind of summarize some of the tips I mentioned throughout this video, just language-wise, because I'm an English tutor, I just kind of have to put it out there. Write in first person, because you want to focus on yourself. So focus on yourself, write in first person. Second, follow the subject of the sentence, follow that I with a strong action verb. So I receive, I do, I allow something. So use powerful action verbs. And then, whatever follows is just whatever follows. I feel like that's the most important part. I feel like for me, what's really useful is just writing down those intentions for myself, how I want to behave, and how I want to choose. It really doesn't matter what that other person looks like, because I know that it doesn't matter what person, having that manifesto written, it doesn't matter that what kind of person comes into my life. I know that I have a choice to either accept this person, or just like veto this, or decline this person. So it's really up to me, and it's a really empowering thing that I did. So I just should totally do it. And yeah, I think I've said all I need to say, and now that I have channeled all these words out of myself, I feel a little bit hungry, so I'm gonna go eat something. But before the next video, be the hero of your own story, guys. See you later. Bye.